paying for all this Wi-Fi.
They're charging the crew for
yes,
Wi-Fi.
on the magical dreamboat cruise, there's no magical Wi-Fi for the crew.
Not even during pandemics.
Silly, no one's ever sick, and there's certainly no pandemic. We're just happily quarantined to our magical rooms. I'm freaking out here, just talk to Dad.
He doesn't believe in science, so what do you do with that?
And my mom does believe in science, but she still wants to go to bridge club. I told her no, it isn't safe. She said she needs to be with her friends right now.
I saw the picture on Facebook.
She posted it on Facebook. She has no shame.
You used to sneak out.
Yes, but I wouldn't do it during a tornado.
They're in their 70s now. We can't control them, but you'll never guess what Dad said to me.
That liberals deserve to get sick and die.
Close. Out of all my children, from all my marriages,
He has so many.
you are the most negative son. I tried to explain that people will die. This virus isn't a lie. Now I am the most negative son.
The guy who carves his own oboe reeds.
Oboe reads that this guy no longer needs. The day that will live in infamy is my day as a sub in the symphony. Now my dreams are all done. My prospects are all near none. So proclaim me the most negative son.
No, you're not the most negative son. Can you at least teach lessons online?
Teaching online with a full glass of wine. I must confess there is no joy. Hearing Ode to Joy blared by some bratty little boy. Blast my ears with a gun. Coronavirus has won. Yes, proclaim me the most negative son. I used to dream of a solo Haydn's oboe concerto. Now everything's a solo, trapped in a tiny studio with bills that I owe. I shouldn't complain while people suffer in pain. Some have no money to spare, stuck sick with no health care. No, how can I complain when doctors and nurses and food service workers try to stay alive, to keep us alive, wondering will it all be in vain?
Things look pretty negative.
I can't feel positive. So call me the negative son. I almost told Dad he'll likely die, but that would only prove why I'm the most negative son. But you're stuck on a ship, unable to dock, calmly listening to me while I squawk. You're trapped on a floating cesspool. Soon the toilets will back up and you'll stow your own stool. Tourists will start coming undone. Wow, that sounds like no fun. There I go again, the most negative son. I can't make it stop.
Everyone is feeling it right now. I just sound positive because I'm Dottie the dolphin.
I know it's not everything you want to do with your career, but it's such a good role for you.
I've been playing it up. I've been spraying my spout, pretending I don't know what this pandemic's about, because I'm Dottie the dolphin and everything's divine. I'm darling. I'm dazzling. I'm Dottie the dolphin, the most delightful dolphin on the most delightful ship. People stop to ask me why this boat hasn't stopped in 2 weeks. I respond with my spazzy dolphin laughing thing. I tell them, isn't this the most delightful cruise ship? We're sailing splendidly on the open ocean sea, and I'm the luckiest dolphin because Dreamboat's the most wonderful place to be. Whenever I leave this room, it's Dottie the dolphin. I must be.
You're leaving the room? Well, that's not a quarantine.
The guests still need to be entertained at all times. Otherwise, how would it be the most delightful cruise ship? So we've doubled our show so everyone can bring all their charms and watch us perform.
That's not safe.
Well, that's not a delightful attitude. I've been flipping my fin, I've been hiding my doubt. I really don't know when we'll ever get out, because I'm Dottie the dolphin and everything is fine. I'm funny. I'm frisky. I'm Dottie the dolphin, the most delightful dolphin on the most delightful ship. People stop to ask me why this boat hasn't stopped in 2 weeks. I respond with my spazzy dolphin laughing thing. I tell them, ee-haw, ee-haw. Isn't this the most delightful cruise ship? We're sailing splendidly on the open ocean sea, and I'm the luckiest dolphin because Dreamboat's the most wonderful place to be. Whenever I leave this room, it's Dottie the dolphin that I must be.
Oh my God.
God's not a character on this cruise ship. And it's a good thing too, 'cause I'd give him some lip. I'm gonna blow this hole, I'm gonna flip this ship. If they airlift me out, I will take the pink slip. They'll have to take me away in a straitjacket soon. I'll be doing the Dottie Dolphin laugh the whole way. I'll tell them isn't this the most delightful cruise ship? We're sailing splendidly on the open ocean sea, and I'm the demonistic dolphin, because Dreamboat's the most wonderful place to be. Don't ever leave your room, because Dottie the dolphin has a death wish for you. I'm Dottie the dolphin! Oh my God, hang on. You gotta see this. I'm forwarding this to you. It's an email.
You are seriously Wi-Fi deprived.
It's an email, finally an email, from the Dreamboat Company Limited headquarters.
They sent an email when they know you have to pay for Wi-Fi.
This is an email to all the delightful Dreamboat creatures. We are writing to let you know this magical journey will be coming to a happy ending soon.
Sounds like they're planning to marry you off or jerk you off.
This delightful dreamboat will soon be docking. We hope you all enjoyed your stay. Every story takes a turn, always something new to learn, and we hope you have grown with us.
And we hope you don't have the virus.
This delightful dreamboat will soon be docking. We will arrive at Nipa Bay. You'll be in a quarantine zone. From there you'll be on your own. The doctors will arrive on a shuttle bus, but they have nothing to do with us. Here is a statement from the Cuban government, the only country who allowed us to disembark. Not Barbados or Brazil, unfortunately not the USA.
We the Cuban people realize the severity of this situation. The lives of sick people cannot wait. Urgent measures we must instate. It is our humanitarian duty, even though you were snooty to us in the last debate. No one should ever be denied health care, even though the U.S. imposed a blockade on medical supplies to us. No one should ever be denied health care, even though our children died during that blockade. We have more doctors per capita, while the U.S. leads the world in guns. And if you need a doctor, we will provide you with one.
The delightful Dreamboat Company Limited headquarters does not deny or condone any statement of the Cuban government. The delightful dreamboat is disembarking. You must be on your merry way. First, escort the guests from the main deck. Please don't ask about your paycheck. Any flight from Nipa Bay, you must pay your own way. You are no longer on contract with us. You didn't contract COVID from us. No, you didn't get it from us. There's not much more we can discuss from here. We'd like to bid you good day. No, I I said good day, sir.
Well, at least you're not Dottie the dolphin. You're getting off that ship.
Not Dottie the dolphin. Now where am I going to live? I'm homeless. I'm jobless. Not Dottie the dolphin. That most delightful dolphin was the one who paid the rent.
Wouldn't you come back to New York? You could be here for auditions.
The only auditions will be for physicians. I can't move back under these conditions. In New York, I'll be caught in the fray. There's no role to play as all performance fades away. Cruise workers will face shun. This may be my final run. Just tell Dad that I am the most negative one.
Don't give up. You have to believe.
What if there is no dream left to achieve? Rent was already so high. All my Broadway dreams were already pie in the sky. Before COVID began, I had been overrun. Yes, proclaim me the most negative one. 6 feet apart, all alone, face masks have to be hand-sewn. Will we all be on our own while the orange man sits on his throne? We fear the unknown. Will things be like before? City I used to adore. Clothes on a subway ride, dozed up head side by side. How can things be like before? While doctors and nurses and food service workers are losing their lives, but greed still survives. There's still an intense war on the poor.
It's okay to see the negative, but there's one thing that makes me positive. Something I can be sure of. You're singing. Your voice. Your song shows us love. Money will be rough. Times will be tough, but we need a song to pull us through this negative stuff.
Oh, that's the brother that I know. We've been through high and low. No matter what direction the wind will blow, I hope you know.
I hope you know there is love.
There is love singing through.
Playing through until our days are done. Let's break on through all this negative stuff. You know, post the plague of 1918, re-emerged a theater scene.
You are on a roll with all this positivity.
So what are you going to do?
Well, first of all, I'm Phoebe the Furious. I demand my final check. I'm fabulous but forceful. They haven't seen this Phoebe yet. I'm tired of risking my life working on your death trap ship.
That's right.
With all the laws that they flout, tell Congress that Dreamboat doesn't deserve a bailout. yes, I'm Phoebe the Furious, and everything's not fine. Dreamboat Limited Company has been messing with our lives. When they are tried for all of their crimes, I'll frame the New York Times. I'll belt out with a belly dolphin laugh. I'll tell them isn't this the most delightful payback? I'll sing splendidly from the place where I am free, and I am thankful I survive. Because Dreamboat's the most awful place to die. When I get off this ship, I am Phoebe the Fabulous. It's not the last time you'll hear me sing.
That's right, you're Phoebe the Fabulous.
Tell 'em, bro.
And I hope you know
Oh, I hope you know
there is
love.
Hi everyone, my name's Teresa and I
Hi,
am
Teresa.
here with the team for Living the Dreamboat. Live in the Dreamboat. There's not a G.
Yes.
Live in
Live in.
the Dreamboat. And this is one of the teams on the Insiders musicals from the quarantine. And this is hashtag behind the musical. So VH1 cannot sue us. So the only requirements for this project were that the show had to be a musical and it had to be created during and about the pandemic, entirely in quarantine. The teams were randomly paired up. Most of these teams didn't even know each other and had never worked together before. So it was kind of a crazy experiment and I didn't know how it was going to work, and it worked out. So that's awesome. So if you don't mind telling me a little bit about where the idea from the show came from.
Blake and I were talking about just how we're feeling during this pandemic, and that I think a lot of artists are all in the same boat, so to speak, that we don't know what the future of live performance is going to be. And really wanting to deal with figuring out how we anchor ourselves during this time. And we both had loved ones, including Bailey. Bailey was on a ship when COVID-19 hit. We have loved ones who were on cruise ships. And last I looked, as of May 9th, there were still crews who were stuck out at sea for more than 50 days.
Yeah, I mean, it was, while we were writing it, I had someone who was still on a boat. Luckily, they were docked and the guests were off, but it was just really interesting that, you know, they still had to pay for Wi-Fi to communicate with their family. They were still stuck on the boat. They weren't allowed to leave because the cruise companies, you know, when this all started, we thought it was only going to be a couple weeks, right? We didn't know it was going to be months and months and months. And so they were just like in port waiting for instructions. And then finally, this person I know was able to go see their family. But yeah.
And I think what was so cool when we like started coming together and discussing it and discussing all the little stories that we knew about people on ships was like thinking about this idea of how on some cruise ships, you are your character for 14 hours a day. And so having to keep up that facade when people are actually dying on your ship and you don't know when you're ever going to get off the ship, like just the absurdity of like playing a fictional character. And in our show, it's Dottie the dolphin.
There she is. She's beautiful.
She's stunning.
Yeah, that was felt like a lot of fun to play with the absurdity of that, and just also be in our own artist selves trying to figure out what we're gonna do, what's gonna happen. It was really nice to have that conversation with all of you when the crisis first hit.
What was able to translate from your in-person experiences creating musical theater to this process, and what did you find that you had to adjust?
So one of the things to me about working on anything, whether it's theater, whether it's you know, TV, film, which works a very different way, but still, is about creating relationships with the people you're working with. And I always, you know, maybe it's naive and it's blown up in my face once or twice, but I feel like you go into something with your full trust in your partners until they prove you wrong, which does happen. But you know, but here we're dealing with Bailey and I we never met. We're not even in the same city, and we, through some rehearsals and such, we had to create a relationship. And I you know, one thing that helped me, and here I'll embarrass you, Bailey. I got a headshot and had it by my camera so that I wasn't just singing to the camera. I had
Genius.
Because even in this void that we're living through, it's still about relating to another human being. So you have to find the creative ways to do that. So that I had Bailey's beautiful face in front of me, so I didn't have to watch myself.
Related to that, like for me, you know, part of the reason I love being a director is because I think that the creative process builds community in such a special, important way. And you know, I'm a director because I love collaborating and interacting with other people and getting like a space, you know, frequently where you get to like see eye to eye with people and like check in and see how you're doing and like respond to the world around you. And so I think for me, something that did still translate is having this space for us to gather together and meet each other as artists and as people and kind of connect on that level. And I think the best art comes out of a space where everyone feels like they're bringing their authentic selves wherever they're at. So that part did translate, and it was nice to like have this little community during this time.
Mm-hmm.
Go for it.
Something I learned about is, you know, when you're writing a new musical, especially when you know who the actors are, it's one thing to meet with them and work out what are their best notes, where are their range, where are their breaks, like, you know, it's kind of like playing with Play-Doh. But in this experiment, you don't have that luxury. And so I learned ways to do it virtually. Like I talked to Bailey and Jeff and said, please send me your favorite video of yourself singing. And because that translates into who they think they are as an artist. And so it's like, oh, I know exactly what style they want to sing in right off the bat. And then, you know, give me some songs that inspire you and all that stuff. So it was a very interesting adjustment period.
I'll say that just the material itself came from such an authentic place, I think, for all of us. The words that these characters are saying and the emotions they're feeling are so spot on with how we're feeling right now. And it made it just that much easier to make a connection with Jeff, because he's already such a warm presence via Zoom anyway. And then he's saying these things and I'm like, my brother has said that to me. So this is nothing else ever felt forced or faked or anything like that. I really appreciate that with the writing and then with the scene partner that I got to be blessed with. So I'm just so tickled that you printed that off.
Two things that going on what Blake had said. He asked us about, you know, music and our ranges and stuff like that. And one of the things I said, and he was very lovely about accommodating this, was that we're all stuck in our apartments and we're having to sing. And I said, I can't be belting at the top of my range because my neighbors are right there.
Yeah.
You know, and I mean, I hear them all day, they hear me, but, you know, you didn't want to infuriate them. And I did actually get to meet Blake in person for a split second when we had a very covert handoff of a microphone I needed to record all the music. So we met at the entrance to Central Park at Columbus Circle, and we looked at each other and said, "You're Blake, you're Jeff," and we
It's all so sketchy because I was like getting it out of my bag and like transferring it and like being very, it was really funny.
Scandal. Okay, did you learn anything about yourself, collaboration, or theater as an art form from this process that you feel like you can take with you?
Well, I think my self tapes will be better.
A lot of help now.
You just, the more you do it, the more you get used to it, and you become, you know, you're a little more freedom, a little more yourself in front of the camera and not worrying about it so much. So there is that benefit, but it's also just the idea that we can still collaborate, and we're so blessed to have the technology that we have that will keep us connected through this.
Yeah.
And we learn new ways to create. Everyone has had to do that through the years, and we're just at a place where, you know, hopefully we go back to live performing because there's really nothing like it. But this is a way to keep that going in the face of all sorts of adversity.
Ditto. What I did really love, this is going to sound, you know, small and insignificant, but I love that I didn't have to worry about being late on the train for a rehearsal. Like, it's the thing I cherish the most. Like, the only reason I'm late is if my coffee doesn't microwave in time. So I really, there's something that's like a stress reliever for that. Like, oh, I don't have to panic, I'm going to be late, and then I have to explain myself, and I've walked in the door with all this extra baggage. Oh, it's just so much extra time to just practice and really there was so much extra time to marinate in what we were doing, and that's what I loved.
What else? I discovered that Spectrum Internet is really, really slow when you're trying to upload a whole bunch of videos.
The more you know.
Damn.
This is not an advertisement for Spectrum.
Oh, no.
It's the opposite.
I learned to have the utmost trust in other people because, you know, creating is such like a personal thing. No matter how you slice and dice it, it's going to be always personal. And, you know, not having met these wonderful human beings, it's really hard to just implicitly trust them in their artistry to translate what you're doing. And I think that, like, with Claire's brilliant words, it was just a lot easier. And then Daniella, of course, interpreting all that we did.
That was the nicest part.
You guys all put in me, especially because, like, Claire, we know each other a little bit, but not super well. And Blake, we'd never met before.
Yeah.
So I appreciate that you two handed me your baby and trusted me not to drop it.
I appreciated that we had someone to hand the baby to. I appreciated that we had a director for this project that, like, you know, we just came out and we're like, we're going to do something. We're going to pull these teams together. We're going to do something. We don't know how it's going to go. But it just had a layer of professionalism, an outside eye. But I also I realized that, you know, making musical theater takes a long time, as Teresa and I know. And it was very nice to just put something up. Like, let's write fast and try to get something out. And that feels very rewarding.
Is there anything else anyone wants to say? Any parting words of wisdom?
Daddy.
Good luck.
That's perfect. Thank you all so much for being part of this project and jumping into the unknown and taking time to chat today. Thank you to Astoria Performing Arts Center for coming on board as a producer and giving so much more validity and time and support to this project. You all rock, and everyone hang in there.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.